Hey there, guys. So today we're going to look at another one of my ranked matches. I'm going to go ahead and in the description put the time when the match actually starts. I recorded it. Somehow I lost all of my recorded games at some point, maybe during the update. It just can't do it anymore. I'm not sure. A little disappointed, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. I figure this way I can speed through like the boring spots of the what's going on. But of course, you know, starting off, let's go ahead and put it on fast because we're all familiar with this part of the game. So we'll just go ahead and quickly move through the opening of the area. Shoot. I don't have a drink. Oh boy. Oh well. Alright, so obviously I'm just exploring around, getting my initial economy set up. I'm weary because the guy I'm facing right now, we just had a previous match and he used a forward base to take me down. So I'm trying to figure out if he's, for a little bit here, I'm trying to figure out if he's going to try it again. In fact, if you paid attention at the very beginning, there was GG, nice pressure. I'm a bad typer when it comes to typing fast, but yeah, we literally had just had a match and it spilled over into the next game that we ended up facing each other against again. Yeah, he had literally just beat me in the previous match. So, all right, what do we got going on? You see here, I'm already in my age up. I think I'm doing pretty good at this point. I don't know what civilization I'm up against yet. I don't have specific text for each of the different civilizations that I'm facing with the Inca. But you can see I come down here to start seeing what's going on. And my initial idea is to start idling his villagers. And so by attacking his guy down there, I really hope to mess with him. All right, so my first shipment, if you were paying attention, was going to be the llama. Now let me slow this down a little bit. My second shipment was the 2 builder units so that I could get down my war huts really fast and save myself gathering that 350 wood so I could use that wood to create bowmen. At this point, I'm still dedicated to that bowman rush. I've got my deck set up for that. Though I do have things to start helping out the other units in the next age. So you see right here, I'm like, all right, we'll get a couple bowmen out, protect the base if it comes in because I can kite with them. And we're finally both at age 2, obviously. He got to the point slightly before me. And oh, I'm sitting here like, why can't I hear any of the stuff going on? Because I'm not plugged in. Well, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going ahead and building away. I've got my guys down there. I've got a couple villagers up inside the town plaza, 3, giving me a nice little 25% bonus to all gather rate. So I mean, it's 300 food basically to do that, but it's a nice synergetic bonus to the marketplace already. And there it is, hussars coming up in, or hussars, however you want to say it. It's so hard to find the proper pronunciation for them. But yeah, they're gonna take down my bowman right off the bat. And I'm like, okay, this is an issue. Let's get people hidden and start shooting away. See if we can get one. There, we get one of them. And so he takes off with them. It's not as successful as I think he hoped, especially with the 2 war huts just right up there front and center harassing his guys. I'm like, all right, let's get our guys back out, keep them gathering resources. And he's going to keep, let's go forward. So at this point, I'm like, all right, he's got hussars coming in. So let me do, I'm like, oh crap, those are bowmen. All right, let's make spearmen. There we go. I canceled them to try and get my villagers going again. And here he comes right back in. He's like, he's going to do to me what I try to do to others. He's trying to take my guys idle. And whenever he does that, I mean, it's okay to get the guys off of the prayer point, but you really want to be focusing on the rest of the resources. I'm still gathering resources while that's going on. And here they come. I'm like, I sent out 4 bowmen on accident. Like, I don't know what was going on, but I accidentally sent out 4 bowmen. Now, you see that I actually rescued my town explorer early on. When I jumped down there with my Chosky, I ran him over the war chief so that I could bring him back in case I needed to do a strong defense here. But I also had given away 45 experience early on because I wasn't paying attention, allowed him to get taken. Now, normally that 45 experience early on is going to give people a drop on you as far as shipments. Their whole shipment schedule gets shifted, basically, if they take out the Explorer. I usually take out the Explorer early on if I can find him, because the War Chief is just better suited for combat versus other Explorers in the very first age. But why does it say I'm still in the Exploration age? That's hilarious. Let's do that real quick. There we go, Commerce age. Alright, so by this point I'm like, alright, he's bringing out Hussars, so I've got to deal with them with the plumed spearmen. And I bring them up into this area. I'm like, he might have a forward base this way or something. Because I saw his Hussars. Yeah, they came up this way, but they retreated this way, like up in this way. So I'm like, maybe he's actually got a forward base up there. And if you saw earlier, he does not. I didn't, like, I needed to see something. I just needed to fix that real fast. But at this point, like, he ran right by my guys. I wasn't paying attention. I was focused somewhere else, so he just slipped right through. And I realized that, so I decided, you know, start moving my guys away. Alright, so let's go ahead and go back into fast. So at this point, he's retreating his Hussar. It still exists, of course, but it won't be able to come back in again. The war huts will be able to take it down at this point. So here I'm like, all right, I've got some spearmen. Let's move them. There's a 4 bowmen, 4 spearmen. Here comes out another group of spearmen. I'm like, we're gonna go forward. He's bringing out Hussars. I know he's dealing with Hussars. I did not account for the fact that maybe he used it as shipment to get them. But my idea was that he's using Hussar, so that's good. I'll be able to deal with them and his buildings much more efficiently than with a bowman rush. Because the Hussars will get up on top of your bowman and just wreck them. Even if you've got a mass of them, you'll be losing like 2 or 3 every time you try to kite. And that's no good for an exchange. You definitely don't want to be dealing with Hussars if you got the bowman. So I was like, alright, we'll switch it. Alright, so I'm like, alright. Let's deal with these guys. So there goes his Janissaries. Alright. So I'm like, alright, we'll start dealing with his town center. We'll see what he can really do about this. We take out his other Janissary. Oh, there comes the Hussar again. That was the Hussar that had run away. He decided he needed to use that. And here he brings out the Falcon. You'll notice that by this time, he's gone into Fortress Age. And I am still in Age 2. But that's one of the beautiful things about the Inca, is they can go toe-to-toe with a Fortress Age civilization. It's what they can do. So at this point, I'm like, all right, he brought up the falconet. That's probably the only one he's got. I'll tag it real fast and deal with it. Not realizing he didn't bring out 2 falconets. So this means that he's got the 1 falconet infinite card. And you're going to see why that's not a good idea. You become addicted to it, basically. So at this point, I'm like, all right, he's got the guy up there. I'll go mess with his village a little bit, drop his production a little bit. It worked out wonderfully. So I'm like, all right, all I've got is spearmen. We're running in. We're taking out the 1. Oh, there's another one. So I'm still like, maybe he's got the 2. Yeah, so now I'm just like, all right, he's got nothing. I'm going to take out his economy. And the spearmen will ensnare, so he won't be able to get his guys away that well. But here you see I've got something else coming in. There it is. 5 Chimu runners. Now, those Chimu runners are the answer. Especially when someone gets addicted to artillery. I mean, obviously what I should have been doing is staying back and building up a bigger mass just so I could have really done with things. But I'm like, alright. He doesn't have his artillery out, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Chimu to deal with his villagers, get them off of production. I moved my spearmen over so they don't... I mean, they're still getting tagged by the, what do you call it? The town center. But there, see, 3 Chimu come out, boom, done. There's another falconet just gone. All right, so needing to take care of my how my villagers are set up. You see that I've stopped dealing with my villager production. I really should be keeping 1 villager at a time going, with 1 additional one queued up, just so that I am booming my economy. But here I stall out. I stall out hard. I should, by the end of this match, I should have had closer to like 50 or 60 in my economy. But I fumbled on it. It's one of my worst micros. Is that, or would that be considered macro? Well, it's my economy is one of the things that I have struggled with. I'm pretty good at trying to keep it consistent. By this point, I've dropped the gold card. I know I need to get out a ton of Chimu runners. Let's see what time it is. There we go. My mother just messaged me. Don't worry about that too much. All right. So I'm like, all right, Chimu. If you're gonna try and be smart about it, I'll pull out my Chimu. Now I still have spearmen there, so I can still deal with the hussars pretty efficiently. But there's another falconet. So I just run my Chimu in and deal with it. And at this point, he's like, all right, I'm dealing with his economy. Because his 3 hussars had worked out so well, he just sprints them up in there. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to make some spearmen and hang them back. 5 for 5. Deal with you that way. And it ends up being sufficient. He goes up, he gets my guy, he kills like all of my guys, or at least tries to, up in there. I bring my spearmen around the other way, and I send them packing. And I get my guys back out onto the eco pretty quickly. But he's afraid to bring his hussars in because I've got those spearmen. Alright, so what I really should have done here was focus down his houses. Because what I don't realize what's going on at this point is that he's moved his main base of operations. He has finally abandoned his main base. I'm like, okay, where's his eco at? I tried looking around, maybe it's on this or that. Because I still see this gold here and he keeps trying to go for it. I'm like, maybe that's where he's only got his only coin. So I bring down some more guys. I'm like, all right, I don't see anything. Let's go deal with things. I'll put those guys on wood. And I've got excess food. I should have put more people on wood and some people on coin. And kept producing. See, I finally dropped down a whole bunch of villagers thinking this is going to go into a long-term game. This guy is just not giving up. He drops this fortress. I'm like, I can't let that go up. So that's the first thing I have to deal with. Done. Another wasted shipment. And so you'll realize at this point that my opponent has been addicted to that falconet, infinite falconet card. And he even tried to get a fort down, because that fort would have really slowed me down had he been able to pop it up. But at this point, he keeps trying to bring his military out at here. And so I've overdone it with the Chimu, which is fine. I've got 21 Chimu, a nice little Chimu ball that can just go up and run up on top of anyone. Yeah, they're going to take some bad exchange with some things. With like 5 units, they're going to lose more than they probably should. But they're so fast that I need them to get on artillery that pulls out. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I've got enough spearmen down. We're just going to wipe out this base. Why is he still in it? And we do get his market down. We start taking down a couple of his houses. I should have taken the time to take out the other 2 to limit his population growth. I mean, that's my bad. That population limit is so crucial that taking out those houses is key, because then he couldn't have been pulling out those falconets or anything. All right, so I get my guys away from his hussars that did end up finding them. And I've taken out his base. I'm like, all right, where is he? I managed to find there because I sent my explorer down. Found it. And at this point, I'm like, all right, he's got military down here too. And I see his falconet, so boom, here come the Chimu. Gone. There's his guys. And at this point, he realizes that it's a lost cause. He GG's and he's out. So, all right. As you can see, I mean, yes, this is low elo play, and that sort of tactic won't always work. Any sort of really good player would have switched it up off the artillery and been like, okay, I can't use artillery. But keep that in mind. Those Chimu are going to be able to really, because they don't get ensnared. They just don't get ensnared. Your only answer is to blob up on top of your own artillery to deal with them. They don't take a lot of damage from them, and that's about it. You're going to want to use some sort of, you don't want to use skirmishers. They get bonus damage versus them. You don't want to use artillery. You can't take the mass down with artillery. You just cannot do that. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick playthrough. Yeah, we did it on the fast mode. But we can see that he became addicted, and we can look at this if we hop over. He actually had more economy over here. And what I didn't know is that he had this trade post going, which was why he was able to continuously drop that falconet card just over and over again. So you see, he only brought out 4 permanent cards, and he just kept using that. If I was him, I would have done probably the refrigeration and a royal mint instead of the falconets, because I would have stopped producing the Chimu if he'd have done that. And I would have focused on getting my economy safe and up. He should have used the covered wagon and boomed his population instead of trying to deal with my guys. I mean, yeah, it was dangerous to let them sit, but I had no idea he was down here. I would have been so focused up here, he could have boomed down here and gotten more guys coming out. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you guys next time when I don't lose all my recorded games, and I want to do some more live games, and I needed to redo the Inca because we just had a massive update, and my things are now outdated, so let's gonna have to do more Civ study on that. All right, I'll see you guys next time.